Hello everyone, this is GapCat242. So I thought I'd talk about my overall thoughts on the Zombie Lab action figure line by Locker Toys. So when these came out last year, I was excited, but then when I got my hands on them and started to move their joints around, became more familiar with articulation, it was a little bit disappointing. Now, while I do like these figures, the issues I had was the stiff joints, some of the paint rubbed off in certain areas, and also I had one figure break, but that was my fault. But I don't know, Locker Toys, hopefully if they do a second line of these figures, I hope they take note of some of the paint issues, and especially the plastic being so stiff. Like, I never had figures have stiff joints. Even after warming them up, they still were stiff, so I very rarely ever pose them in different positions. But there was some I left alone, and the rest I took apart. She was one of the few figures I left alone. I thought she looked pretty cool as it is. Debbie, on the other hand, I gave her some Marauders accessories. So I gave her this hat, gave her this holster, and that gun, changed out her hands because her original hands did not stay in place, and gave her a backpack. And then this guy, whose name I forgot, I gave him a vest from Marauders, gave him a holster, he has some knee pads, make it look more tactical. And as for some of the other figures in the line, I did take apart, make more customs. Like, for example, Marion, I gave her some Marauders accessories, switched out torso, gave her a vest, and she falls. And this one right here, Marauders, and that torso came from a Zombie Lab figure. And then here's something I put together recently. One thing I do like about the Zombie Lab figure line is the potential of making civilian characters. So this was something I made a while ago. She's mostly boss fight Vitruvian hack parts, so thankfully those are compatible. And actually, if you don't really like the original arms from the Zombie Lab figures, you can just switch them out and they work way better. So it was great that I was able to use parts from boss fight. So here's another custom still working on. So the Zombie Lab figures, like I said, they're cool looking, but the stiff joints and some of the paint rub, it's kind of an issue, and you're paying like $30 a figure, so that's something you got to keep in mind. So if they do a second line, I hope they address some of these issues. I really like these figures. I was a little bit let down considering I bought almost all the figures in the line. So that's just my quick thoughts on the Zombie Lab figures, and I'm still waiting on my, the Planet Green Valley figures. So yeah, that's just my quick thoughts on this figure.